Good day, welcome to Mayor King's TV News. I am Matsu Okpamitorishe and here are the headlines. DSC Flyover ends gridlock and Oborevwori spurs. Troops bust criminal gang in Delta State, recover arms and ammunition. Adekunle Gold becomes first artist to sell out Warri Showing Center. Adedeji speaks on tax reforms not to marginalize opposition. Now the news in details. The presidency has debunked reports claiming that a photograph of President Bola Tinubu and Rwandan President Paul Kagame taken in Paris, France, was generated using artificial intelligence. It was reported that the photograph shared from Tinubu's reported meeting with Kagame in Paris had sparked online debate after users spotted a growth watermark on the image. However, a statement issued on Monday by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Temitope Ajayi, said the claims are misrepresentation of facts. According to the statement, the picture is real and not AI generated as claimed. Both President Kagame and President Tinubu met in Paris and had lunch together on Sunday. The two leaders later had dinner with President Macron same yesterday evening. The picture was taken with a phone and obviously at poor quality. He, however, admitted that the photographer used grok to improve the picture quality. Residents, commuters and business operators around DSC Roundabout access of Effurun Uvwie Local Government Area have applauded Delta State Governor Oborevwori following the opening of the newly constructed DSC Roundabout flyover to vehicular traffic. The flyover, constructed by Julius Berger, has been widely described as a transformative intervention that has eased traffic congestion, boost commercial activities, and improved the urban outlook of Effurun, Warri, and adjoining communities. An opinion survey along the corridor showed overwhelming consensus that the DSC Roundabout, PTI Junction, Effurun Roundabout, and Effurun Junction flyovers have been lasting relief to an area previously notorious for gridlock, poor road conditions, and economic slowdown. Overall, residents and traders commended the governor for prioritizing infrastructural development, describing the DSC Roundabout flyover as a symbol of people-oriented governance, strategic urban renewal, and a major driver of mobility and economic growth in Delta State. Troops of 63 Brigade Sector 1, Joint Task Force South-South Orientation Delta Safe, have successfully busted a criminal gang and recovered arms and ammunition in Uvwie North Local Government Area of Delta State. The operators led to the arrest of two suspected criminals alleged to be members of a notorious cult group in the area. The arrest was effected following credible intelligence on the nefarious activities of the criminal gang in a recent operation conducted around the Bozo. During the operation, several weapons were recovered, including 2 pump-action rifles recovered from the criminals, as well as additional 3 pump-action rifles recovered from purported local vigilantes. The suspects and weapons recovered have been handed over to the relevant agency for further investigations. In a follow-up on operations conducted, the area was combed, which led to the recovery of additional 8 pump-action rifles at Umusiagba. 13 suspects, including Wankota Elvis, Obi Victor, Uba Elijah, Nonso Ibera, Domfili Ezefili, Ndefo Imfayi, Zemene Richard, Boderick Kechiku, and Ndubisi Obiongana, native doctor. Meanwhile, the Commander 63 Brigade, Brigadier General M.A. Shombari, while commending troops for their vigilance, charged them to clamp down on all criminal networks in the area. He reassured the good people of Delta State and environs that the brigade would continue to effectively prioritize the safety of lives and properties. Now on entertainment news. Afrobeat singer Adekunle Gold has made history as the first musician to sell out the Warri Showing Center for Culture and Creative Arts, formerly known as the National Theatre, Lagos. The feat was achieved on December 26, 2025, when the singer staged a star-studded concert at the venue, featuring performances like Olamide, Yinka Ayefele, Adewale, Ayuba. Adekunle Gold filled the 3,560 capacity hall, was subsequently presented with 2 plaques on January 1st, 2026, in recognition of the achievements and the efforts of the management and record label that organized the event. Celebrating his achievements in a post on Instagram page, Adekunle Gold appreciated his fans for their support. Many Nigerian celebrities, including Davido, Brother Shaggy, Timi Agbaje, Obaskolo, and BB Niger's Emisi, flooded his commitment section with congratulatory messages. Now on the business news. Chairman of the Nigerian Revenue Services (NRS), Dr. Zachi Adedeji, has dismissed fears that the new tax reform framework could be used by the federal government to marginalize political opposition on target individuals on the basis of political affiliation, insisting that the reforms are driven by national interest and institutional accountability. Adedeji spoke during an interview on the Arise TV program This Day Live, where he responded to concerns that the new tax regime might be weaponized through selective enforcement or politically motivated scrutiny of tax compliance records. He noted that such insinuations were misdirected, stressing that the administration's approach to tax reform is guided by transparency, due process, and a commitment to building strong and credible institutions. He explained that it would have been easier politically for the government to avoid far-reaching fiscal and institutional reforms ahead of an election cycle, but the president chose to continue with measures aimed at strengthening the country's fiscal foundation and improving economic governance. Now on the foreign news. Donald Trump has again proposed annexing Greenland after Denmark's leader urged to stop the threat over the island. Speaking to reports, the US president said we need Greenland from the standpoint of national security. Trump has repeatedly raised the prospect of semi-autonomous Danish territory becoming an annexed part of the US, citing its strategic location for defense purposes and mineral wealth. Greenland's Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen described the notion of US control over the island as a fantasy. Earlier, Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen had said the US has no right to annex any of the 3 nations in the Danish kingdom. Frederiksen asked the Denmark and told Greenland was a NATO member and covered by the alliance security guarantee, and said a defense agreement granting the US access to the island was already in place. Now on sports news. Manchester United have parted ways with head coach Ruben Amorim, the club confirmed on Monday. Amorim, who was appointed in November 2024, leaves the role after leading the team to UEFA Europa League final in Bilbao in May. With United sitting 6th in the Premier League, the club said the decision was taken in the belief that a change would give the team the best chance of securing the highest possible league finish this season. In a statement, the club thanked Amorim for his service and wished him well in his future endeavours. However, Darren Fletcher will take charge of the team on an interim basis for Wednesday's Premier League clash against Burnley. Now a recap on our headlines. DSC Flyover ends gridlock, hence Oborevwori's praise. Troops boost criminal gang in Delta, recover arms and ammunition. Adekunle Gold becomes first artist to sell out Warri Shoyinka Center. Adedeji speaks on tax reforms not to marginalize oppositions. That's the news as edited by Timiala Emanuela. I am Matsu Okwemitorishe. Thanks for watching.